It's connecting. Okay. Stream is started. Hello, everyone. Hopefully the audio is less messed up now. We could talk about that. That's a bit of a funny issue. So in a couple of the previous streams, the audio was actually desynced with the video for about a second. And the reason that happened is because I'm essentially using a system to screen record Zoom. Mac changed something recently so that now there's a delay. And so that's why the audio was a little off. Hopefully it is fixed. Yeah. Oh, I gotta have to actually click go live. All right, cool. So we're live on Instagram. I think we're live on Substack. Let me just see. Let's open this up. Substack. Yeah, I hear myself. Cool. All right. So there's a couple things we wanted to talk about today. Fee, are you going to be voice on for this one or just?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, I can be voice on. One thing I noticed from the reels is that the screen share is at the bottom and it gets covered by the caption when I've been watching the reels. So is it possible to swap it so that the screen share is in the middle and one of our faces at the top, or the screen share is at the top or something?
At the top we can do. Yeah. Putting like it in between our faces might be a little too difficult.
Okay, yeah, because like the captions are covering it. I like where the captions are, so yeah, if you could just do that before we really start recording, that'd be great.
So we'll just scoot this down a little bit.
And I don't see us live on Instagram.
Really?
So let me just restart my Instagram because I don't see it there.
This needs to be. What is this? This is the video captures the screen share. No, it's not. There we go. That's the screen share. Funnily enough, it looks just like me, doesn't it? Hi. Okay, cool. Wow, this is weird. Okay.
Okay, yeah, now we're live. I see it.
Yeah, I keep forgetting on Instagram I actually have to click a button to do it. Oh, there's a little. We're getting a little bit.
But I don't see the screen share.
Well, yeah, I mean it's delayed a little bit. You should see it now, and then it's off again. If I turn the screen share on right now, it's just gonna be my face twice.
Got it. Okay, so yeah, let's go then. I'm ready. We're ready.
Like this. Okay, cool. You know, folks, we have to fix our own technical issues too all the time. That's how we got so good at fixing them. Okay, so what do we got today? We got a couple things.
Oh yeah, so the first thing I really think is interesting is the last thing that I shared.
The reflect orbital?
Yeah, so I thought we could look at that because it's a type of technology and it's not what we usually talk about. But I found it, I heard about it, and I found it pretty curious. So yeah, if you could pull it up, that'd be great.
Oh, you want me to pull it up? Okay, well then let me actually.
Oh, do you want me to? Which
Well,
one's better for your computer?
Definitely if you do.
Oh yeah, then I'll do it. Let me do it.
You know what? It's not. Because as soon as I start. No, it's fine. You do it.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Let me do it.
I noticed as soon as the Zoom share actually pops up, I start losing CPU, but we're okay.
Yeah, let me do it. Give me 1 second. I'll get it right here.
Basically, I'd have to create a new scene.
All right. Are you able? That is not what I meant to share. What I meant to share. All right. Are you able to see this?
It's loading. And oh boy, what the hell happened? Hold on, I gotta fix this. Picked the wrong Zoom meeting window again. There's like 3 titled Zoom meeting and I got the wrong one. It looks like a gray square.
What?
But I do have it now.
Okay, so you don't see it at all. Zoom,
Probably not in the
what
way
are
I
you doing?
intended, no.
Oh, maybe because I clicked that. There we go. Okay,
There we go.
so explain me this. In Zoom, I clicked on optimize for video sharing, and then it went gray. Then when I turned off optimize for video sharing, you could see it.
I mean, do you want a detailed explanation or a simple
You
one?
know what? Yes, Rob. Would you please be so kind as to explain to our viewers how optimize for video sharing on Zoom works?
So I actually don't know how that exact thing works. However, what that probably means is that when it opens the screen share, it opens it in a slightly different mode. Because sharing stuff and handling that stuff, your Zoom is basically going to the operating system and saying, hey, could you send me the data of what's being shown on the screen? And the operating system can do that a couple of different ways. And all of those ways, an app can know if it's being recorded. This is why if you ever played Netflix and then tried to stream it over Discord, it will go blank on Chrome because Chrome knows it's being recorded, and so it just stops playing the video because money. So my suspicion is that whatever you were doing, whatever Zoom does when it optimizes for video recording, is it probably starts screen share in a slightly different mode, and that freaks out the applications. And so when it did that on Chrome, Chrome goes, I don't know what's going on here, but it looks really fishy, so I'm just going to not allow it. And so that is the thing. Like if stuff is just not working the way you expect it to, that could be what's going on. Is that it's just the browser, especially Chrome, gets very sensitive about this stuff. Oh yeah, it's using the GPU. The other thing that sometimes can happen is if your Zoom window. So like when you have Zoom, you have the meeting window, then you have that bar that where they're trying to be Slack and Teams at the same time, where it has their team chat and calendar and all that other shit. That sometimes, if your graphics card isn't set up to handle it properly, that can actually be above the window you're trying to record, and then it'll be gray because Zoom doesn't want to show Zoom windows. It's kind of a clever trick they do. So they try to like null out the Zoom window, but if it's overlapping, sometimes it just shows up as a gray box. So that's why if you sometimes just see a big gray box, that's actually that Zoom toolbar that's showing up there. It doesn't happen when I do it because I've got a laptop I think that's designed to handle that, but not every computer's graphics card is good with that. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Also, you are getting cut off a little bit in the live, your left
Yeah.
arm, but I think that can't really be helped.
Oh, this? I'm doing that on purpose because I want to make my video bigger.
That makes sense. And the
So
Happy Tech logo should be in there. So.
yeah, so like I can pull it over a bit, but then
Can
like yeah,
you can you
I want the
lower
happy
it a
tick
bit
logo
so we
bigger.
are seeing more of your body?
Um,
Just a little
well
bit.
that's all of my body that Zoom is seeing either. So like I can sit up.
Oh yeah, can you sit up? That's better because
Yeah,
the
but
words
like
are covering your face.
the words are covering my face.
Yeah.
Curse those words. So cruel, covering my face, my beautiful little face. Okay, let's talk about Reflect Orbital.
Right. So what they do is this.
I've heard of this. Not like this concept, not this company.
Yeah. And I thought it was fascinating. And I don't understand if you see the sunlight, because I think you
Yeah.
do. And I think this could change like agriculture.
Agriculture, yeah. It's a lot of it also is for if they can focus it well, it's for power as well. Because solar panels in space are a lot more efficient than solar panels on the Earth because there's that pesky atmosphere you have to go through.
Yeah. So it says you're right. Energy. Response, illuminate disaster zones
Mm-hmm.
and search and rescue missions.
Yeah, big old spotlight over a whole neighborhood.
Industrial, extend working hours, improve safety, and light remote sites. And then agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
Tailor growth cycles, extend seasons, and boost yields. Civilization, replace streetlights, reduce light pollution, enhance urban life. Defense, uninterrupted solar power and lighting for critical defense operations. Experience, unforgettable nighttime experiences for events and public spaces because essentially it's still dark.
Mm-hmm. But everything's lit up. That's cool. That's very cool.
And are you able to see this correctly in the screen share?
Yeah, yeah, I can see it.
Okay, great.
So the text is a little small, but it's always kind of that way. Just put your phone real close to your face.
Yeah. So, the big picture, sunlight is the most valuable and powerful resource in the solar system. And this is another like type of technology that we're talking about right now. And I think understanding like that tech is so much bigger than just media communications is something that I think people should keep in mind when we're discussing AI. Because right now, I think everyone is very focused on like the arts piece and the writing piece, the creativity. But these are real applications that, and I don't know if they're using AI. I'm sure by now they probably are. But just because of like, if they're using like, any AI to even write their code or just even come up with marketing or whatever, right? Or any automations that they really like set up for themselves. Which I can't imagine right now, but like I know that there's a million ways. Oh, I have to bring the dogs in. Okay, that's totally unrelated. So yeah, I just found this really interesting and I just felt it was really important to point out that we need to remember different uses of code and not just be hung up on this one perception of things. And, we're talking about how much water it's using right now. Okay, what if there's a way that, we discover because of AI of unlimited water,
Yeah.
perpetual water generation, right? We don't know. We literally don't know. And that is humble. It's humble to admit that you don't know. And we had talked about this before where both sides are being disingenuous instead of having a true conversation. And let's not even touch diseases, you know?
Guess you get sick.
Yes. But in terms of the impact that that could have on Earth. So, yeah, I really just wanted to bring this up because using the sun so differently, I mean, it's a really beautiful concept. And I'm sure that, in terms of pollution, right? That's something we're going to have to look at. In terms of how are we depleting Earth? Is this going to take away more from Earth than it's adding? Like, look at their plans, right? To have 50,000 satellites in 9 years. So, what is that really going to do to the planet? What is the planet going to turn into? That is something to, oh, there we go. So, that is something that's really going to be talked about. But I could even see this, turning into making Earth like even more green if used correctly. And that's why more people need to be involved in the decision making and thought process around these technologies because we're guiding it, right? like all of us collectively, even if we're not working in that field. So I really found this very interesting, and in such a bleak time that we're living in, this was just a very fascinating, scientific thing that I found that I felt it was so much more grounded in what humans are capable of. I'm gonna go bring the dogs in. I can give you a remote control if you want.
Sure. Actually, can you scroll back up to that picture of the sun and the earth? I can just do some drawing on that.
Go ahead. You should be able to scroll up
Okay.
on your own.
Oh boy. I can control this, but how do I do that? Doesn't seem to be working.
I gave you. Oh, there you go. You did it.
I did.
Yeah, the mouse moved.
Oh.
Try it again.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay.
I'll be back.
Oh, so it's just pressing. I've never done this before. It's very futuristic. Okay. So, you go take care of the dogs. I'll just
All
talk
right.
about this for a bit. It's actually pretty cool. There's two possible ways that they can be doing this that I've heard of. Both of them are really cool. One of them is to actually use a beaming constellation, and so you have because like they said, the sun is on 24/7, and they can make their satellites be. You can have geostationary satellites, but with enough like setup, you can also have satellites that are always in the same place relative to something. So even though the Earth is spinning, like if you have a geostational satellite, then as the Earth spins, it spins with the Earth. So GPS we use for this geostational. But then you could have a satellite that is actually moving at a slightly different speed from the Earth. And if you time that right, which you can do with formulas that we know, you can actually keep it in the same position. Like let's say the sun is here. You know what? I really should just be drawing this, but you can keep it in between the Earth and the sun, or like kind of at an angle all the time, no matter where the Earth is spinning, so it's always getting sun. Then what you can do is you can be using that mirror to beam to another mirror that's on the Earth's dark side, and that one focuses downwards. Now, if we were doing that on Earth, it would be shit. It would be terrible because the Earth is just really not that effective at handling sunlight and stuff like that because of the atmosphere. However, in space, there's really not much to stop it. I mean, there's dust and stuff like that, but we can see light from stars that are so far away, and our sun is right there. So if you have the angle calculated correctly, which would be pretty easy to do, you could even use lasers to make sure it's calculated. You could have a chain of mirrors. The other thing they could do, and I kind of doubt they're doing this because it's more difficult, is they could actually be putting the mirrors in very far orbit around the Earth so that the mirrors can actually see the dark side of the Earth and the sun at the same time, which is possible. It's harder to get them out there. At that point, you may have actually had to escape Earth's velocity, which means the satellite is actually orbiting the sun also, which just makes it a lot harder to control. So I feel like they are doing the mirror bouncing. The thing that Fee brought up with this, right, is that they want to launch 50,000 satellites. One, we're going to need the launch fuel for that. We're going to need the material for the satellites. In the grand scheme of things, these satellites are not escaping Earth. They're going to end up crashing back to Earth eventually. So it's not like we're losing metal, but in the short term, yeah, they're going to be using these for things that you might need to do other things with. So managing those resources, I play a lot of resource management games, but managing those resources is definitely going to be difficult, and it's going to be a thing that we have to think about. But I'm really excited for this because they can use a lot of the stuff like SpaceX and Blue Origin to get these into orbit, which means there's more revenue for those companies, which means they build better technology, which means that the space system just gets better. Being able to cheaply send cargo up into orbit is really important. Because the more we can do that, the more we get things like this, which can beam down power, right? If we have things like this, you can have your solar panels running 24/7. Solar panels are pretty great, but then we have to have all these batteries to store that energy, and then we have to make more solar panels to charge the batteries. Imagine if you just didn't have to do that. On the other hand, this also means it's a lot easier. If someone, let's say some country went full in on this and just did all this stuff, it'd be a lot easier to hold their power situation hostage, wouldn't it? Because then you say, I'm just going to blow up the satellite that's covering you.
Okay, let's not
So,
get too political right now and doomsday-y, because this is happy tech. Thank you.
okay, well, what is our next topic then?
Why don't you pick?
Well, let's see what we got. That doesn't seem very happy. Don't know what that is. We talked about that last time. That's not a very happy thing. What is this about? Okay, that doesn't seem very happy tech either. Okay, let's talk about this. The how to master prompting thread. How does that sound?
Yes, that sounds great.
All right. Would you be able to share that?
I'm nervous too, but yes, I can.
Okay. I could also share it too. It'll just take me a minute to get this set up.
No, that's okay, but I'm just nervous to do it
Mhm.
after what happened.
Yeah, that was interesting. I probably clicked something that
It's
because the
okay.
cursor wasn't where I thought it
It
was.
was risky. It was risky anyway. We took a risk, guys, and
It was a risky click.
risks don't always play off.
Risks don't always play off. It's true.
I don't know if this is big enough.
I can improve on that a little bit. I'll make it a little bit bigger. Let's see if that's better. That's a little bit better. All right. I think you're good.
Okay,
This is as
so
big as I can get it anyway.
okay. So this is from How to Master Prompting on Threads, I guess. Yes.
Yeah, it looks like.
And I have my suspicions. Let's just say.
I don't think he's real. I think he's AI. Because why would he be real?
There's no name.
It's a suspicious. This is what you should do when you see these accounts. You should really check them out and see where they're coming from because even if what they're telling you makes sense, at least you kind of want to know where they're coming from, just in case. Masterpromptsandtools.beehive.com. Beehive without an E.
Well, Beehive is a CRM, I think,
Oh, okay.
or a newsletter. Sorry, it's similar.
Okay,
It's
so
similar
it's
to
newsletter
Presenc,
sign
yeah.
up. Suspicious. Do they offer video streaming? Maybe we should go live on there too.
I'm not sure.
Hmm.
Regardless, let's see if we have anything else.
The real future of AI is physical. That's especially yeah, it is. I mean, we've been seeing the robots, right? They're getting smarter. Are you jumping around this? Because I
Well,
need to resize the content
no,
window
no, no.
while
I'm
we're
actually
doing
trying to
this.
see if this is real. Hold on.
Oh, if it's like, I don't know. I feel like anything with Elon Musk and AI is he's probably done it. Yeah, Microsoft is really big into AI. And yeah, but yeah, I did think that they had a little bit of a rivalry going. Who knows? Who knows? There's a lot of stuff going on for that.
Okay, so
Um,
he did make a friendly appearance.
oh, because of Grok. Yeah.
Oopsies. Okay, well, anyway, going back to the future is scary. Meanwhile, robots.
Oh, I've seen this. It can't figure out how to get past the shoe. See? That's frightening. Imagine you're the shoe.
Yeah.
Oh, I realize I
Okay,
should
go
probably get
ahead.
my glasses off. So, rip to Canva, rip to CapCut, rip to all subscriptions, apparently, except for ChatGPT, probably. 30 days of content done in under 1 hour. ChatGPT handled everything. I'm immediately suspicious of that, honestly, because I feel like if you just generated out 30 days of content, unless you're putting out like a 5 minute reel every week, I don't think this person had enough time to review all that content. Right? Like, imagine if you're putting out a 5 minute video every 30 days, that's 150 minutes of content, which is 2.5 hours. Which means that if you were done in under 1 hour, you didn't look at any of it. So you don't actually know what you're putting up. So, what I recommend, okay, if you are using ChatGPT to generate your content, I'm not saying not to do that. I'm saying look it over, watch the video. You could watch it on double speed, right? But make sure it's done something that you approve of. Because if you're just putting it out there, you don't know. And so like when I do the live or the reels for these lives and I put them into Gling, I actually do look at all of the captions that come through. And sometimes I miss them, but I make sure to look at those so that I can actually make sure that it's giving me the right captions and so that I'm getting the right thing in there. Because I don't want it to show up and be like, oh, this is, not great. But yeah, this is our Substack. All of our VODs are there. So if you want to look at Fee's photo album, this is where you should show up because it'll be in the VOD. Um, it isn't actually. We didn't actually see anything. Don't get it too excited. But yeah, whenever we put stuff in here, I actually myself make the cuts, right? Because I don't really trust fully that the AI is going to do the right thing. And that's the issue is AI gets it right 80% of the time. And you're like, oh, 80% of the time, that's great. If it puts out a bad reel, if I have it do 5 reels and it puts out a bad reel, 1 out of those 5, that's not big deal, right? Not a big deal. Problem is when they say something like that, give you that statistic, they're not talking about the whole process. They're talking about every step of that process. So when it's figuring out what content to generate, when it's figuring out who your audience is, it gets that 80% right. When it's figuring out what content would be good, it gets that 80% right. When it's figuring out the visuals, it gets that 80% right. And so it starts compounding, which means that it's possible in every single video, there's one aspect of that has a 20% chance of being wrong. So it's not necessarily that the whole thing is going to be messed up. It's going to be a piece of it's messed up and it's going to mess up the rest of the process. Because even if the rest of the process is good, if you started off with something bad in the beginning, it's not going to be great. So, not to say that AI isn't useful for this stuff. I use it all the time for this. But check its work. Check its work, double check its work, run through it at 3x even. Because you can really, you can see immediately if something's off. Like, oh, that doesn't belong in there. Let's take a look at that. And the thing is, if you got 30 days of content done in under 1 hour and you just spend another hour and a half looking through it, you still got 30 days done in 2.5 hours. That's not too bad. And if you find maybe let's say 80% of those are good, right? That's like 26, so they're pretty good. So then the other 4, you just generate them again. And it might get it right that time. And then you've spent another hour doing that maybe. And now you've spent 3.5 hours. You got your whole month of content and you don't feel silly when something shows up and you think, oh, that's what it generated. I didn't expect that. So yeah, that's basically what I would do. But let's look at these prompts because these prompts are actually pretty useful, I think. Let me bring these a little bit more into focus. So the first prompt, audience demand scanner. Analyze my niche insert and audience insert. List the top problems, desires, and objectives they actually care about. What this is kind of doing is it's doing something that AI actually has a really hard time doing itself. It's breaking down something into tasks. A big, large piece, you're breaking it down to smaller tasks. AI does really well with small tasks, like extremely well. When it gets to bigger tasks, it actually really starts churning and having a problem. So you tell it first, hey, do this thing, and then it spits out some data. Then you say, as he falls into it, using this audience data, paste. Notice what that means is he's having that first thing generate that data, but then copy pasting it into a new prompt. Why is he doing that? Well, because he wants a new context. Whenever you start a new chat with the AI, it has a brand new context. And if you have old data in that context, the AI gets confused a lot. Because every time it tries to come up with a word, it's trying to pattern match. And if the pattern is bigger, it's harder for the AI to figure out what the next best thing would be. So if you give it a much smaller niche question and say, here's the data that you generated before, it's going to be a lot harder for it to make mistakes with that data. So using this audience data, create 3 to 5 content pillars that build trust, authority, and demand for my offers. Notice that they're not even on content yet. They're talking about content pillars. That's just the type of content. So this is the sort of thing that you want to do before you actually get into the content creation. Okay. Then generate 30 content ideas for this platform using these pillars. Paste, again, brand new context. For a 2-second retention using tension controller surprise. What's 2-second retention? Meaning after 2 seconds, the person's still watching. Most people, when they fall off after 2 seconds. They realize, oh, I don't like this. This is boring, etc., etc. Yes. Hook engineering lab. And then, just a second. Yeah. So for this idea, and then paste, and notice the thing, they're pasting every single individual idea. Right, 15 platform native hooks optimized for 2-second retention. Contrast or surprise. Oh, we did that. Did I duplicate these? Oh, I did. I got them. Okay, so the one, generate 30 content ideas. Each idea must educate, solve, contrast, or surprise. Then you use... Wait, what? Oh, you scrolled. Each idea must educate, solve, or provoke curiosity.
I won't scroll till you talk. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, because now I'm reading them backwards. So the first one, you take those contents ideas and the pillars. So you generate the 30 content ideas that educate, solve, or provoke curiosity. Those are the things that make people stick around. You're either educating for them, you're solving a problem for them, or you're making them interested in more. If you don't have one of those 3 things, people don't stick around, right? Okay, now scroll. Okay, so now that we have our ideas, right, and we've got kind of that hook, turn this idea into a script for certain thing with a hook, value, pacing, CTA. So now we've actually got the whole script. We've got our idea that we know works with our audience. And so every step of this, they're doing a new prompt. And so that you're like, that's a little tedious, that's a little time consuming. It is, but it's the way to make the AI work well for you. If you ran this and said, generate 30 ideas, and then you said, for every idea, give me a script, the AI is going to go ballistic. It's going to get so confused because it has to generate so much content, and it will do it. But it's not going to be good quality anymore because it's having to, every time, remember all that data. It might not even be able to keep all that in its token window, depending on how much you're doing. So turn this idea into a script with hook, value, pace, and CTA, etc. Now you've got your script. Now, for editing directions, for this script, again, paste, right? So you're doing this again 30 times. Give editing directions, pacing, cut, subtitle, style, overlays, B-roll, cues, and emphasis moments. Okay? Then the last one, build a 30-day posting schedule for platforms with optimized times, pillar rotation, and repurposing rules for maximum reach. So now we get to the end of this, and here's the kicker. This is not a little misleading, right? They just said, oh, I've got all my content for 30 days. Now that to me means recorded, proofreaded, edited, scheduled. So I assume they're using AI video generation. No, what they meant is I have all my content scripts for the next 30 days in 1 hour. that seems reasonable, right? Because if you're gonna read that script and you've got the editing directions and stuff like that, you're still in control of that. So I like this a little bit better because of that, but I'm also a little disappointed because I was expecting to be like, and then go into this video thing and paste all of these and it just does it for you. And I thought that'd be cool because that'd be a cool thing to look at. Like, I don't know of an AI video system that does that. I'm sure they exist, but I thought maybe this guy did. Can you scroll down a little bit? Maybe he does in like a step 8 or something. Okay, no. So, um, yeah, faceless, no audience needed. So that's the other thing, right? Is a lot of these videos, we may have talked about this, where a lot of these videos are going faceless. And because it's a lot harder, for one, it's easier to put a bunch of pretty graphics and stuff if the screen isn't faceless, if your face isn't there. But for two, it's a lot easier to do AI audio than it is AI video. We've been able to actually do AI audio pretty well for a while. It's gotten better, right? AI video is still in its infancy and you can kind of tell. I've definitely been watching videos where it's like 20 minutes in and the AI just kind of stumbles over a word and they're like, oh, this is AI. But it took me 20 minutes to figure that out, right? If you're doing all these reels that are like maybe second long reels. So when he's talking about faceless stuff, he may actually be you doing AI voice generation for this and AI video generation, which isn't terrible, but it also took longer than an hour, I bet. Because he probably did all that stuff. So when you look at things, this is the important part. When you look at things like this and they say AI did this so quickly, you really should look deeply into it and see, did the AI actually do all that, or was there human intervention that they're not talking about? Because right when we read that first part, it was kind of like, hey, the AI took care of all my content needs in an hour. That's not really true, was it? Because the content isn't ready, and I'd be willing to bet he spent another 5-6 hours after this either recording those scripts and editing them or having the AI generator do it. But yeah, whenever that's why like I like to keep our faces in these videos most of the time, because AI wouldn't generate this. This is all real, right? Like you can see this little thing over my earphone. AI doesn't get details like that. That's just where Zoom got it wrong. So like we want to show you we are human at Happy Tech. We use AI as tools for what we do, but when we're talking to you and we're bringing you content, when you're scheduling meetings with us, it's us that's going to show up. You're going to get a human, we're going to help you, and that's why we don't really do faceless videos that often, because we really want to show you that like, hey, we're actually people here. Anyway, anything you wanted to add on to that, Fee?
No, I think that's onto that part, no, but I think I want to say that the internet as we knew it is gone, you know? And I think a lot of people are still catching up to that, but it really is gone. And what we're seeing is so different from what we've seen before because it's almost very similar. But the intention and what's being created and what they're trying to do, you require a lot more vigilance. And it requires a lot more critical thinking in order to, really suss through something. For example, he said Canva. This apparently was supposed to replace Canva, his series of prompts. Nothing in here has anything to do with Canva, what Canva is traditionally used for.
Or CapCut.
Or CapCut. And definitely not all subscriptions. So, however, if you look, he's got. Now, even with these likes, right? These are 2,700 likes. Let's see, what percentage of threads is bots?
Yeah, a good percentage of these could be bots. That's the other thing too.
Yeah, see, and look at, yeah, anyways, we don't have to get into politics here, but so regardless, even when you're seeing 2,700 likes, maybe 1,800 or 2,000 of these are real people. And
Yeah, we've been able to buy fake likes for a decade now.
and if you look at the comments, oops, he has a lot of people commenting. And because it's a controversial post, right? yeah, and the comments are also really interesting when you are looking at it. For example, this one, ins and out in 2026, out any content that has the word dead in it. Example, hashtags are dead, reels are dead, marketing is dead, views are dead, comments are dead, anything dead, toss it out. In storytelling, I think we can all agree that we are tired of content that isn't giving us a gist. Even when you want to sell, tell it to us like it's a story. Tales by Moonlight is now Tales by Social Media. Give us a series, we will follow. Let it end in a sale, we will buy because of the story. Tell stories. How does this kill Canva? I don't see graphics creation in the prompts. Excuse me, nice AI sir, but Canva is not going anywhere. Canva is fun. Canva is my genuine creativity coming from my soul. And Canva is the only subscription I have because the possibilities are limitless on that platform. Canva is a godsend. So if you're telling me from your AI posts that the time, love, and passion I put into Canva should be replaced because 30 days of content were done in under an hour, then respectfully, you shouldn't be making content. You have missed the point. For those of us
It's just AI slop.
For those of us that aren't hollow shells, creating isn't about an audience. There's a spark in us that pushes us to create something regardless of if it ever gets seen. There's a pride and a joy in the work. Your content is all about results. You have no integrity. You're just thirsty for attention. That's what separates us. It's a bonus to make art and have people love it, but that's not the drive. You are empty, and no amount of followers or dollars is going to fill that void. So, what's interesting here, and I've seen this in other places, is the conversation about souls. And I've seen that just increase so much more lately in the last like 3 to 4 years. And I think it's because, we're approaching this like very hyper stretched out binary. And so people are kind of repulsed, and so they're clinging to the other end of things. So I find that really fascinating, and I find philosophically what's interesting is like what humans want deep down, and the discovery that it's not enough to just have it easy, for things to be easy. That is actually not enough. Ease and comfort is not enough. It might just be the base of what we're trying to build. And that's a new discovery that's come about in everybody's awareness. And I think that that's really fascinating and something that I really want to see it unfold. And when you contrast this, for example, to the other company that we were looking at, let me pull that up.
You're talking about the solar company?
Okay, so let's go see their socials. Oh my lord. How do these guys not have socials? Let's see. Oops.
The shame.
Oh, it's reflected. Normally it shows up right at the top.
There they are.
Is this them? I'm not sure. I think this is just,
Yeah, that looks like it.
but they're not tagged in here. That is so fascinating.
That is interesting. They don't have a social. It's just people talking about them.
Huh. Okay, my dog is stabbing me in the back, so I do have to hang up soon. But yeah, that's really fascinating. I wonder why they don't.
And this is why you should have socials, guys, because even if you think it's a waste of time and you're just putting up random stuff, people will look at this and be more suspicious of your company if you don't have them,
Apparently, they went
right?
viral on TikTok though,
Okay. But did
but I
they
don't
post on TikTok or did
see.
someone else post on TikTok that went viral?
Yeah, I find that fascinating. Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. See, and now we're suspicious because the Daily Mail's having to post about them and they don't have their own thing. That's just why. It's a controversial startup. I can imagine it's very controversial, yeah. Um,
Anyway, so never mind. But essentially, I think one of the things we want to keep in mind is that people's opinions of your work do matter. They do matter, especially if you want to sell them something. And so, really understanding where everybody's mindsets are is very important. And that's what I'd encourage anybody who is, trying to understand their business and their place in all of this and is struggling, even with the technology piece, right? You having a good grasp, even if you're a coach or a teacher or like a music teacher, it is important that you have an understanding of what people online are expecting and what they are up against, what you are up against also, but they are also up against things as viewers. And so making sure that what you're putting out there really is what you mean to put out there, that's very important to really pay attention to, that you are being understood and your work is actually being understood and not misperceived or landing in this way that you don't mean for it to land. So, if that's something you are working on and want some help with understanding the current technological trends or understanding social media or what the capabilities are out there, and you feel like that's a roadblock for you, that that technology is here or social media is here and you're not able to keep up with it, you don't have to. You can come to us. This is literally what we do. We do it every week. And this is pretty much what Rob and I talk about. Like, I'd say like 30% of our week. No, maybe like 25%. A big chunk of our week goes into talking about this. And so we try to keep up with a lot of different things so that you can focus on what you want to be doing and we can help you with this part of things. That being said, next week there will not be a stream and we will be back in 2 weeks in February. So I hope you all have a beautiful rest of the month, and we will see you next time. Thank you so much for joining the Happy Tech Live on Substack and Instagram. If you have any tech needs, like your email, your phone, social media, AI, how to set up your own app, how to set up your own website, how to go live like we are. All of those things that you need for yourself, please reach out. We're happy to help. Have a great day. Bye.
have a good one, folks.